everyone, Donavon here from the Elevation Real Estate Group. I'm joined today by my good friend Ryan and client Ryan as well. We're going to talk a little bit about his experience purchasing a home and then selling that home and buying another one. So Ryan, thank you so much for being with us.
No problem.
We've
appreciate it.
Yeah, we've known each other a long time, since our UFV days.
Oh yes, Business 100.
That's right,
Yeah.
Business 100. So we go back a ways and good friends. Ryan was actually my first ever client in the real estate business, so thank you for trusting me when I was a rookie. Yeah, I was just finished getting my license, and we were working together and found this beautiful home that we're sitting at today out here in Chilliwack. So the first question I wanted to ask you was, why did you choose Chilliwack? I know you grew up in Langley.
Yeah.
And this is obviously a totally different area from where you grew up.
Yeah, it's kind of multifaceted why we kind of chose it. Ariana was just finishing up her psychiatric nursing school, and we just were kind of looking at perhaps where she was going to be able to get a job in the future while staying in the Fraser Valley, close to home and parents. Eventually, at one point, we were thinking maybe moving to the Okanagan, but again, wanted to stay relatively close to family. So that's why we kind of chose Chilliwack. It has a lot of nice outdoor activities to do. We've been able to get into a lot of snowshoeing and everything, and it's a little bit slower than Langley and more affordable. Yeah,
I know affordability was a big part of that for you guys. Why don't you just talk a little bit about that and how the affordability of Chilliwack made that decision easier for you?
For sure. When we were looking at places in Langley for the kind of size that we wanted and ended up getting here, it was a couple $100,000 more for us to stay in Langley. So with Ariana just starting her career and me being kind of early in my career as well, it made it a little bit easier to come out this way, get something more affordable, and then as we kind of get more developed in our careers, this is definitely more of an opportunity to go up.
Yeah,
size.
Yeah, definitely provides an opportunity. I think the biggest thing that people don't understand about real estate is you just have to get on the escalator at some point, right? Whether that's starting in a small condo or moving to another area that's more affordable. Once you're in the market, all boats rise with the tide, right?
Yeah.
And you guys have experienced that in the 2 years that you've owned. You've already experienced a good amount of appreciation and value.
Yeah, definitely. If we didn't have that appreciation and value, we still would be in this place for a few more years at least.
Yeah.
But just due to getting in the market, it's hard to save money whether you're renting or owning a house or a townhouse like this is. So just being able to, I guess, instead of putting lots of money away trying to get into a bigger place, just being in a place and the market increasing as it has really made it possible for us to get our home.
Yeah, fantastic. That's great. So I want you to also to just explain for people at home that haven't bought their first home, how was the first time home buying process for you as a buyer?
Right. It was definitely nerve-wracking because when you're a first-time home buyer, there's a lot of things that you don't really know. Mm-hmm. So you don't really know the ins and outs of dealing with a mortgage broker, really finding out how much house you can really afford. Mm-hmm. And you don't really know what you are actually looking for and what's truly important until you actually start looking at places. Mm-hmm. So getting you on board, when we first bought this place, looked at this place, came through and everything, I would definitely recommend, whether you're buying a new construction or not, get your own representation, because they'll be the ones that definitely have your back.
Yeah.
And that definitely eases a lot of your concerns buying a new house, because it's the biggest investment you can ever make.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think that we had some fun challenges with this purchase as well. Yeah. Why don't you talk a little bit about what were some of the more challenging moments in that, and how we overcame those challenges?
Right. So there's a lot of, I guess, unknowns even when you buy a place, especially us who bought new construction. Mm-hmm. So none of our complex had really been developed at the time that we bought. It was 10 months before we moved in. It was 2018, March, April kind of thing, and we moved in January of 2019. So it definitely was a lot still unknown, and even the builder, when we bought, it actually was a different floor plan from what we received.
Yeah.
Just because you can't see this behind the camera, but we are backing onto a slope here.
Yeah.
And the initial plans called for a deck and then new walkout basement, but they made it flat onto the main floor, walk out to the backyard, so that definitely changed a few things. And we definitely had a lot of different discussions with the developer and everything like that, which would have been definitely a lot more stressful if we had gone with their second realtor who closes their deals instead of having you on board. And having you on board with all of those changes that they made, that kind of like threw us for a loop for a little bit. But we were able to get some extra additives into the place, which definitely eased some of those issues that we had.
Yeah, I know one big thing you were concerned about was the rec room, which is in the basement behind the garage. Now obviously is underground, whereas before it was supposed to be, that would walk out to your backyard, you'd have natural light in that room, be a lot more functional. And when you lost that, you were pretty upset. I think that having this walkout backyard right off your main level probably has worked out better.
Yes, I would agree as well. Obviously at the time, like, you don't think of all the positives that come with the change. The first thing that you think of is, oh no, like, I'm now going to have a dungeon in the basement is what we've referred it to. But after we moved in, we eventually did get a dog, and having the walkout backyard was way more beneficial than having to go downstairs and letting him outside. And having the darkness in the basement was actually kind of helpful. Like, we got air conditioning in our unit, so it didn't make as big of a difference for us in terms of having a cold, cool basement, but you could definitely make that into like a movie room or even a playroom. There's a bunch of actual just lights down there, so it didn't really make that big of a difference. You don't realize how much you don't use your basement rec room unless you have kids. But we spent almost all of our time on the main floor, so it didn't make a difference at all. Definitely turned out for the better.
And one good thing that came out of that, you mentioned that you got some extras thrown in. So when that change was made, we were able to go to bat on your behalf with the developer, and I think we got air conditioning, an upgraded gas stove. Was there anything else?
There was. Can't think of it.
There's something else too.
But we definitely got a lot of added I guess, value to the house. Like the air conditioning unit, we were thinking of potentially buying ourselves after we moved in, so that saved us about $5,000 right there. And the gas stove has turned out to be amazing. We really love it, and the house that we bought now, we upgraded ourselves to a gas stove, so definitely was a game changer for us.
Fantastic, that's great. So you were just mentioning your new home and how you upgraded some stuff there. That can kind of bring us to our next question, which is, you've now sold this home and you're making the move to a new one. How would you describe being on the other side of the fence this time as a seller? How was your experience selling your home?
It was kind of fun. Aside from making the house meticulously clean, my wife is very clean as it is, so that definitely helped. We had a nice regimented schedule, made sure everything was in order and everything like that, but it was a good process. You guys were really helpful in getting it set up, had a helpful little sheet, a breakdown there of what things should and shouldn't be done, getting your place ready for selling. Our situation was a little bit unique. We hadn't officially found our forever home when we initially listed, but because we knew the market was so hot right now, it was kind of a necessity for us to get our place up on the market to kind of give us a little bit of a, I guess, an advantage in seeking out houses. So it was definitely, I guess, a little bit of a nerve-wracking experience, but also exciting at the same time. Just seeing how many people wanted our house. So it's definitely nice to have that confirmation that we definitely made the right choice in buying this place, and it gave us a leg up in looking for our next place.
I think we had talked a little bit about your options when you're making a move. You can either sell first and then buy first and then sell, or try and do both at the same time with a subject to sale clause, and how that kind of hinders you. The option that we chose was to sell first and then buy, and I think that worked out really well. We were able to still do it sort of simultaneously.
And that was one thing that was definitely a concern of ours. Like, we didn't want to be in a position where we sold our house and then, oh no, we don't have a place to go. And we're kind of forced into selling for something, I guess, that we wouldn't have preferred to buy if we didn't.
Or some sort of transitional housing like you did last time. Moving in with grandma or the parents.
Didn't want to be with grandma anymore upstairs. That wasn't the best case scenario, especially how much stuff we have now. So it was definitely something that we didn't want to be put into that situation without having something on the back end. So what you were able to do for us was super helpful. So what we did for our house is we sold and got a firm sales agreement, I guess.
Yeah, an accepted offer.
Yeah, we got an accepted offer, but subject to us finding a place that we loved.
Yeah, that's right.
And if we didn't find a place, then we'd just be back selling our house to somebody else perhaps, or them giving us an extension. Because what we noticed too is people looking for townhouses were much more flexible in terms of putting some subjects on, giving us a little bit more flexibility, I guess, in terms of moving dates. I guess moving from a townhouse to a house, there's a lot more people that are subject to sale in that particular situation, which again made it hard for us to find a place. But people buying a townhouse, more of them, it was their first place. So that made it a little bit easier for us.
Yeah.
To put that in.
Totally.
And put our mind at ease, because that was a big concern of ours.
Yeah, that reverse subject to sale clause worked really well for you guys. And we did actually end up getting a small extension on that too.
Yes,
I think by about 4 days, which just allowed us to lock in your purchase before fully selling this place and having a firm and binding contract. So I'm glad that worked out.
Yes, and that extension was definitely needed. Another thing, subject to financing and all those other things still do come into play when you're looking for that next house, which was a big concern of ours in the first purchase of this place. Getting all that financing and everything in place, you don't really know exactly until they get back to you how much you can afford.
Totally.
So getting that extension, the buyer of our townhouse here being agreeable to that was definitely a big plus for us.
Yeah, absolutely. So the process of selling and buying was relatively smooth, but that doesn't mean it comes without stress.
Yes.
Can you tell us about the most stressful moment in the process, if you can identify one?
Yeah, there was a couple. I guess when we first started looking at places and then seeing how quickly they got multiple offers on them.
Yep.
And being able to make that snap decision whether or not we're going to make an offer and what amount we're going to be making that offer at, and kind of the uncertainty of, are we going to get this place, are we not, was definitely one place where there was a lot of concern there.
Yeah.
But I think the biggest one was in that transitional period where we got the extension for our subject to sale in this house, waiting for the firm confirmation from the mortgage broker.
That's right, yeah. Down
we
to the
got
wire
we got it on
day.
Friday, which was the final day of the extension, at like 5-6 p.m. at night.
Yeah.
So once we were able to finally close that off, get the subjects removed on our purchase, and then firmly be able to say, yes, we bought this new house, that was definitely a stressful day, but I'm glad that we made it through relatively unscathed.
Yeah, it all comes down to that final hour when it's like, okay, boom, the purchase is final and the sale is final.
Yes.
Both transactions are done, right?
As a buyer, you don't usually go through it a lot. Like, for you as a realtor, you said that you weren't really concerned at all.
Yeah.
But for us, like, there's a lot of unknown because you don't go through a process that often. So it's important to get people in the realtor position and the mortgage broker position to help you. Those are the people that you have trust in. It's important to have that trust with those people, and having that definitely made a bit of a difference.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
It's official. You've now purchased your new home.
Yes.
You're moving in less than a month. So what are you most looking forward to about that new house?
How much time you got? There's a big list.
Yeah. Rattle them off.
Yeah, well, here we don't have a fenced backyard. We do have a dog, so that's and we're looking to start a family here. So having that fenced backyard to just put the dog out there, play with him in the yard, not have to walk him for 20-30 minutes at a time just to get him to go to the washroom will definitely be a big plus.
Yeah.
But the amount of space that we have upstairs is so beneficial to us. There's going to be 4 bedrooms, all on one level. We have an enhanced 3-car garage, which is essentially almost a 4-car garage. We got lots of space to get in and out. The vaulted ceilings throughout the main living is super awesome. And it comes with all the bells and whistles too. We're going to be getting air conditioning like we have here, the gas stove. Going to be running some nice flooring all the way throughout, so it's just kind of the perfect storm for us. And also, like this house, it has the walkout backyard, so that was a little bit of a concern for us here, but it actually turned out to be one of our favorite features, which is something we sought out in our next house.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, let's just talk a little bit about your house. So you mentioned the triple car garage, which is almost a 4-car garage because the single door is actually double long.
Yes.
You've got a basement suite in that home.
Yes.
And then it's a basement entry home that doesn't look like a basement entry home. It has amazing street appeal.
Yes.
Beautiful home.
Yeah, we're super excited about that. And it actually ends up being more affordable for us to be living in that home than it is to live in our townhouse.
Yeah, so you've actually reduced your monthly cost of home ownership by buying a detached home with a suite.
Yes.
And you do have everything on one level too because it is basement entry. So you go up the stairs, you got 4 bedrooms, kitchen, living, dining, 2 bathrooms, laundry, all on that one floor with the walkout backyard. I mean, what a find. And it's brand new.
Yes.
So you're just one of those spoiled guys.
Yeah, we're a little spoiled.
Never lived in a home that's been lived in before. So
Yes.
That's great. I'm really excited for you guys. I think that that home is going to be perfect for starting a family and for the dog and everything.
It'll be perfect to have you over, and we're close to the lake, so we can
right.
take you out on the boat that I haven't bought yet.
Wait till after closing.
Yes, plenty of room in the single car garage area to put that in the back.
Yeah, 100%. Okay, well, Ryan, thanks so much for joining us and for telling us about your experience buying and selling a home. Really looking forward to getting into your new place, and thank you guys for watching.